Hey there. Today, we're going to gently unpack a really simple but honestly a super powerful idea. It's something that makes pretty much our entire digital world possible. It's called the interface specification.
So, have you ever really stopped to think about something as simple as plugging your laptop into a wall outlet? I mean, you don't even think about it, right? You don't worry if it's going to fit or if the power is the right kind. You just trust it. You trust it'll work every single time. But why? How does that just work?
You know, that simple act, plugging something in, it's this perfect, totally reliable connection. It's a moment of quiet confidence, isn't it? The lamp flicks on, your phone starts charging, there's no drama, no chaos, it just happens.
But here's the thing. That connection, it's not magic. It's actually the result of this invisible agreement. Think about it. The company that made the outlet in your wall and the company that made your charger, they could be on opposite sides of the planet. They've probably never even spoken to each other. And yet, they both followed the exact same set of rules.
Okay, so now let's flip that. Let's just take a second and imagine a world without that agreement. What would that even look like? What would it feel like?
So on one side, you've got our world, right? Clean, simple, reliable. But without that shared agreement, you'd have the world on the right, a total nightmare. Every single device, your phone, your lamp, your TV, would need its own special, unique outlet. Can you imagine? It'd be this frustrating, tangled mess of wires and plugs. And that, right there, is why this whole idea is so important. It's what brings order to what could be absolute chaos.
So the big question is, how do we create this kind of agreement? Not just for simple plugs and outlets, but for the incredibly complex software that runs, well, everything. The answer is we use a kind of blueprint.
And in the world of software, that blueprint has a name, the interface specification. You can think of it like a formal contract. Its job is to define, with zero ambiguity, exactly how different pieces of software, we call them components, are going to talk to each other. And here's the really cool part. They can do this without needing to know anything about how the other one works on the inside.
All right, so let's get into how this agreement actually works. This contract is really built on just a few fundamental parts. First up, we have the part of the agreement that defines what one side promises to offer. This is what we call the provides interface. Let's go back to our wall outlet. It provides a service, right? It promises, I will give you a specific voltage and I will have a specific shape for the prongs. In the software world, this is what we call an API, an application programming interface. It's just a fancy way of saying it's the public menu of services that a component guarantees it'll have ready for anyone else to use.
So, that's one side of the coin. The second part of the agreement, then, defines what the other side needs to actually work.
And this, you guessed it, is the requires interface. So if the outlet provides, the plug on your charger requires. It's designed from the ground up expecting that exact voltage and that exact prong shape. Without them, it's useless. It just won't work. So this part of the blueprint clearly lays out everything a component needs from the rest of the system to do its job.
Okay, so we have what one side provides and what the other side requires.
The final piece of the puzzle, and this is where the magic really happens, is seeing how this blueprint lets totally separate teams work together without ever needing to meet. This is really where you see the power of a great specification. Once that clear, unambiguous blueprint is out there, Team A can go off and build the outlet. At the same time, Team B can build the appliance. And because they're both working from the exact same contract, their parts are absolutely guaranteed to fit together and work perfectly the first time. This is huge. I mean, this very principle is what allows entire ecosystems of innovation to pop up. It's how other companies can build apps for your phone or games for your console. They're all just trusting that public blueprint.
So let's just step back for a second and appreciate how elegant this all is. Because when this is done right, when it's done really well, you don't even know it exists.
Now, this quote might look a little technical, but its meaning is actually really simple and kind of profound. When it talks about classifiers, that's just a technical term for the different parts of a system. And the key word here is decouple, which just means to separate. So what it's saying is that interfaces exist to let different parts of a system work together perfectly without them having to know all the messy, complicated details about how the other one is built on the inside.
So if there's one thing to take away, it's this. The absolute best interface designs are completely invisible. We don't notice them at all because everything just works. They create this silent, reliable harmony that lets incredibly complex systems run smoothly, where every single part can trust that the other parts will do their job, no questions asked.
And that really leaves us with a final thought to chew on.
This whole idea of an invisible agreement, it's not just for software. It is literally all around us, in everything we do. So maybe the next time something in your life just works, without any fuss, take a quiet moment and ask yourself, what's the invisible agreement here? What's the quiet specification that's making this all possible? Thanks so much for joining me.